Alikk, Africa. What's up, brother?
Oh man, nothing, chilling, man. Enjoying the day.
Yeah. What's been going on with you?
Oh man, just staying focused, keeping my mind pure, keeping my energy a certain way, making sure everything is all good with my household. That's my organization right there.
Right on.
And staying in touch with the comrades that I deal with and doing what I do.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. So hey, welcome to KMinded Creationz, and you are the first one we're gonna interview on I Talks That Black. But anyway,
Yes,
so tell us, man, your view on what's been happening with you within, maybe the last 2 years. First of all, we'll say this. We'll go back a little bit. We'll just say, first, introduce yourself on what made you start your blackness.
Oh man, that's my name is Brother Alikk Africa. A lot of people know me by Alikk Africa, the black cracker smacker, quick to clap on the motherfucking cracker.
Right on.
But I got a lot of names. As far as that question, honestly, it's a vague question because as far as the blackness, I was introduced to the information a long time ago. You know what I mean? I've been through a lot, but to the point where I believe I can just say I really began to make it a part of my lifestyle. As far as my everyday mind state to be African minded was probably like 2011 or 10 is when I dedicated myself, because prior to that I was in the Nation of Islam.
Right.
I've been a part of a lot of different organizations and dealt with a lot of different religions and stuff, and still call myself into the blackness. But to the point where I'm at now in 2018, it's I think it's solidified and locked in. It is my life, you know what I mean?
Right on. See, because a lot of people, they scared to actually claim their blackness, What would you say to a person that's really like, you kind of see yourself in them, and you kind of like want to give a person some advice? They want to go forward with something, but they kind of like holding back, but they still got their gangsters in them. But they still love black history, but they know this history in school ain't worth crap. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of them out there that want to say something, but they scared of this backlash, from mama, daddy, or whoever that got a different kind of belief.
Yeah. I know that, I would actually just tell people, man, to seek the information. When you begin to get the information, go to the sources, read the books for yourself. It's good to watch videos and things of that nature, but go read the books that these people have read, or find a book list. And once you read those books, you don't have to really go around telling people that you're into the blackness. It should be in your everyday action.
Right on.
You know what I mean? Like, I meet people all the time. They never met me, but they know like something different about this nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when I start talking, they be like, damn, he dressed like this, but and then they be like, and I can actually tell them how I'm living, not what I know. Like, nigga, this is my life. You know what I mean? My daughter's last name is Afraka.
Right on.
So both of my daughters. So
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just my whole lifestyle is what that is, man. You know what I mean? But as far as I wouldn't tell nobody to be worried about learning who you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's really something, we have opportunity, at our age with younger children, that this is all they gonna know. All they gonna know is their greatness.
Right.
And their history, so it ain't no peer pressure. Then, by the way, if you live it a certain way, your family gonna roll with it. My whole family Christians. But when we have family get-togethers and they want me to come for the holidays or whatever, they know, I used to bring the pictures and set up an ancestral shrine, the pictures of the past loved ones with the candle. I put some water over there, and whatever everybody done cooked in the potluck, I make a plate and put it there.
Yeah.
And they had no problem with that. None of them.
Right on.
Now when I go to their house, guess what? They got, the pictures and the candles. You know what I mean? They didn't, they just trusted me because they watched me grow.
Because you lived it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My nephew, he know what he talking about. You know what I mean? To the point where they ask me questions.
Right. That's like I tell some youngsters. They ask me questions. I just say, hey, some things I can't explain to y'all, but I just know it better in my mind. And in my mind, I'm going to do what's going on in this first. And that's going to be living it. So you see me living it, you'll kind of catch on to kind of what's going on. Because some stuff, a lot of people got knowledge of. They just don't know how to explain it until they see another person that's doing the same thing. So, but yeah, so we understand gang life.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. You know what I mean? It's just who I am. Even the way I still dress today.
Right on.
You know what I mean? I don't say a used to be. You know what I'm saying? Because it used to be don't make honey.
Right.
Because it's not a bee anymore.
Right
you know
on.
What I mean? And that's what really kind of opened my eyes. It was niggas from the streets. You know what I mean? Some of my greatest influences on coming to who I am. Mm-hmm. You know, the first homie that kind of put me on some information was OG Big Dog. He was one of the Bloods in Fort Worth, my big homie. And he told me about Islam. Mm-hmm. I told you I'd done that before.
Right.
But that opened up my mind something further than the Bible from a gangster. You know what I'm saying? And seeing the discipline that he started having. Then a couple of my other homeboys, you know, that was Bloods or whatever. You know, they had, you know, dealt with the 5% Nation and different things of that. And they shooting me information telling me to check it out. You know, at this time I'm locked up.
Right.
You know, so they giving me information too, you know. And so, and then even when I come into just the revolutionary mind state, one of the first dudes, you know, I always give him credit, is Damu Afraka.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying? He's a straight street dude. You know what I mean? Done 10 years in prison. You know, he locked up now. But he was just on the revolutionary thing, do for self. Like I watched the man, you know, he was like, I'm gonna start doing houses, you know, and he ain't went to no school or nothing. He had the money from the things he was doing, so bam, he started buying houses, trying to renovate them himself. I'm going to get the supplies for him personally, watching him, you know, lose money. Mm-hmm. But eventually he got good at it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And became his business of doing it, you know, but he dealt with the African spirituality. He was already on the revolutionary tip, you know, when people was on Islam and different things like that, he was like, nah, man, I'm an African.
Right on.
You know what I mean? I ain't dealing with none of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how he used to say, fuck that shit. That's what he used to say, you know.
Yeah.
He was just real with it.
Right on.
And he influenced me to even get involved with African spirituality. He was dealing with Santeria. And, you know, and that's how I got introduced even to that. So, you know, it's been a part of my whole livelihood. It wasn't so much of you know, just trying to emulate something I saw. I actually grew up with these dudes. These my next door neighbors. And a lot of them roll with me to this day. Even with the African spirituality, you know, Gigolo, Quincy, you know what I mean, my Yay. You know, all these people are connected to me from the streets and even to the spirituality.
Right on.
You know, so if that's something that you done, you just take all the information you living and still be yourself when you come around them. You know what I mean? You don't try to fit in, dumb it down. You know, I'm the big homie that's gonna tell you this or tell you that. You know, whether you like it or not.
Right on.
You know, I ain't abandoning them, but I deal with everybody, man. I always have.
Yeah. So that's good. You keep an open mind, though. You know what I'm saying? For ever since I've been knowing you always had open mind about whatever subject. You don't just shun it down just right then. You at least have an ear for everybody's situation. Yeah. But I want to ask this. You know, I've been asked this question before. You know, a lot of people wanted to understand. You know, back in the RBG movement. They be like, oh, they just look like a bunch of damn gangsters. You know, they just done got together and just got for the call. Them niggas just gangsters, that's all. They just trying something else, trying something new. They don't love no black people. They just trying to get money. Or they just trying to see what's all in people's business, telling you not to do this or do that or do that. But, I mean, can you get a brief, you know, what you think about on that when people are like, the RBG movement was, you know, half-ass fake or ain't nothing but gangsters. All these women ain't doing nothing, and you know, just what's your take on it?
Well, you know, of course, I view everything different now since people last seen me. You know what I mean? But not since you seen me. But
Yeah.
as far as how I look at it now, you know, you can't say the the RBG movement is fake because, you know, in no sense of the word, you know, because it's a lot of things people can be doing rather than fake being black power.
Yeah.
Now, I think the problem is when we start to try to subconsciously rape people's black power based on our own rules and regulations that we applied in our life.
Right.
I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't cuss. I don't use the N-word. So this is a law that somebody has made for themselves, and by them studying the same information you may have studied, this is how they choose to represent it by what they don't do. You know what I mean? And then you have the other brother that still drink, still smoke his herbs, hang in the hood, sag his clothes, but actually he's probably interacting with more Africans than this one that doesn't do anything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, I think the old folks even said it's an old tradition that Africans say to this day. You get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes people and that's just weird in itself. That's always been a big thing to me. People that feel like because of what they know, it places them on a higher level than somebody who may not know anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you know all this, you know, just demonstrate, show the people. You know what I mean?
It's all about meet the people where, you know, halfway where they at.
Yeah.
Understanding, you know what I'm saying? Even me myself had to learn to do that from the beginning. You know, cause you know, in the beginning, when you learn stuff, you be want to tell your everybody who look like you.
Yeah.
You be want to let them know, oh, we in some mess, or oh, we blessed. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's all about now meet the people in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I look at it like this. Like I told my son, I might not know how to put the screw in the motor, but the mechanic do. But I'm the one who knew that the black man first invented it. That can tell him that information. See, meet him in the middle. Type shit. Yeah. So as far as spirituality, I guess I could ask your view on spirituality from where you was to what you are going through now.
Yeah. But like I said, I got introduced to the Orishas through Damu, Africa. You know, and that, you know, so I was dealing with the Orishas in that sense. And I kind of, you know, called myself being a part of Santeria at the time, but I wasn't dedicated, you know what I mean, to the point where I was, you know, I dealt with it on the regular. I didn't have any teachers, you know what I'm saying, other than him, and he really, you know, and the person that we was getting the service from. But then I ended up coming into traditional Ifa. And so since I've been doing that, you know, that's what I've been focused on, you know, doing that as far as what, you know, and I remember a lot of people were more open with it. I'm a lot more open with it than I was before because I've been dealing with African spirituality. But as far as the dedication that I have, and I don't know, about a couple of years now, I've been really dedicated to it. That's really where my whole energy has been toward dealing with.
Right on.
But I understand now the whole purpose of, you know, just being a revolutionary in every sense of the word. You know, that's a great change to dedicate yourself to something, you know what I mean, that's African origin.
Right.
And not in the sense of a religion, but as a way of life, and watching it work for you, and not only for you, but those who you may do a service for, or help out and assist in some way. When you hear, you know, the different things that are transpiring in their lives from the work you did, it makes you feel good. But to know that you have made the African mind has become, you know, a part of every aspect of your life. You know what I'm saying? Every aspect, as far as your, you know, your belief system, you know what I mean, your practices, you know, how you live. You know what I mean? And shit, man, I can't even explain it in totality, but I love it.
Yeah.
dealing with traditional E5. That's what I've been dealing with.
Now, speaking on, when you mention, how you live, a lot of people have questions on this, what I'm finna say, as far as polygamy. Now, can you briefly explain to these people, because some people are still had a notion of, oh, if a man has 2 women, they all in the bed together, feeling on each other. Oh, she kissing her, they kissing on each other. Why he gone? They gonna always say some bullshit. They gonna make up stuff. They gonna say some bullshit to get a few chuckles and laugh on Facebook and shit. But for the serious minds, can you explain to them, as far as still having multiple partners, and the lifestyle and the mind frame you have to be in for that?
Yeah. That goes back to what we said first about being African-centered.
Right.
You know what I mean? As far as you have to really be of an African mind. First of all, for a woman to even be with it, she's 9 times out of 10 as far as my situation. My queens, both of them are African-centered women. They have an African mind state. And once what we talked about belief, but it's also the representation. Even with me doing the traditional Ifa, they practice it as well as the kids. But it's going on 4 years with all of us in one house. Right. And it's because we're African-minded. And the key word, again, is African-minded.
Right.
Those that think about that, when they first hear about it, especially a lot of guys that's immature, they automatically think with a white man's mind. Just the benefits of having more than one woman, or to think, they still thinking on the childish mentality.
Right.
But you have to be a man to serve that, to serve more than one woman. Because if you want it to work, you're going to be serving in some form or fashion. You want to see your woman happy. So now you got 2 women you want to see happy. But it benefits the children. It's an organization.
Mm-hmm.
It's an organization as far as for me, it's just normal to me. That's the way I've been living for going on 4 years. So I can't even imagine my lifestyle any other way.
Right.
But I got African-centered women, real African-minded women, and we're not into the other stuff. You know what I mean? That's to us, that's white sex. That's
right.
What we think that's white sex. We're not fucking around like that.
That's what I be calling that's the slave sex.
Yeah.
God damn it, forced upon us sex. Yeah. But that's for a whole nother interview another time.
Yeah.
But well, subject. As far as education today, first of all, let me get your view on about these school shootings.
Oh, the school shootings, man. Oh man, it's crazy because we know how these people act. Once they take a subject or the school shooting, they'll focus on it. Then it becomes an epidemic because the news gonna report everything that happens at the school. Just from that one thing, they told somebody that got shot at Central Michigan University. They had a shooting at Comstock. So now the news is gonna report every shooting that happens at the school. Any kind of incident. One guy got arrested because he was sitting outside the school, they say, with a gun.
Right.
So now that's going to have you extra paranoid. Whether you're trying to be or not. It depends on what your foundation is, where to move you or not. For us, we know it's business as usual. We're going to continue to do what we do at home and make sure everything is straight. But as far as, as far as that, it creates a certain atmosphere. And you can pass laws, you know what I'm saying? Now they can have more restrictions on as they say, to protect your child in the school, but actually to lock them in the school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's not a good thing because you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
Those that are woke, like, okay, now we want to take the guns away. It's serious when they say the kids. See, they throw the kids up there, leaving the school, talking about they protesting the NRA. Next thing you know, the NRA is losing endorsements.
That feel on people's emotions and stuff. They be ready to go box out all the people who got guns.
Get their guns away.
And exactly. But like you said, it's really locking them in. Because somebody mentioned something on a post the other day. They said, how would you feel to be a black teacher and the white students acting up in your face about to stump you out, and you got your gun out defending yourself, but when them white cops come, they still shoot you down. Black teacher.
Yeah. Because that's what they saying. They want to arm the teachers, you know what I mean? And then, you know, it's going both ways, but the whole point is to kind of regulate the guns. You know what I'm saying? I'm riding the other day going to Fort Worth down, I'm headed 20 West. I passed by 3 Hummers on the side of the road. You know what I mean? Camouflage Hummers. This is Army stuff.
Yeah.
It's government stuff. These ain't nobody done paid for it. It's boom boom, the soldiers out there and everything. They're on the side of the freeway. Go down a little more, it's another one. But they all looking like they broke down, but they just on the freeway. I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as far as people got to be able to see what's going on.
Yeah, you got to see it to know what's going on.
Because it's going.
Yeah. Just because you don't see it don't mean it ain't there. Yeah. Some people got that vibration to see some stuff.
And you got to keep keep up with the legislation, man. They be passing laws when this type of stuff going on. And then they doing early voting.
Yeah.
You know, what's on the ballot. You know, whether niggas with it or not, this is, you know what I mean? I'm not into the politics, but it's reasons why these things are in the news. Because, as far as the local politics, I always told people this, though. I don't feel like that's where we're going to win it, but as far as in local politics, that's what's important. You know, when you voting for the county commission or the land commission or you know what I mean? That's actually your vote at work. Now that president shit, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
All right. We finna get ready to let Benji Gang, which is a family member of KMC, KMinded Creationz, to come in and just ask you a few questions from their point of view. Because, different minds can think of different questions that the crowd might want to hear, from different perspectives. So we finna get ready to let Benji Gang come on in and handle that.
So what or who do you think is the biggest threat to the African American community in this day and age?
Man, that's a good question. You know what I mean? Everybody can automatically say, the Caucasians, you know what I'm saying? But actually, I think we are, because sometimes we be too critical of what we can do. Killing the opportunity for ourselves. I can't just say it's the Caucasians because, the Asians is running rampant in our community. You know what I mean? The Latinos is pushing people out of the community. I was talking about that earlier off the camera, so, I don't want to just say them, but because it's the system, the mind state of white supremacy. You know what I mean? That in itself is the enemy because some of us have adopted it, to the point where we got so much internal fighting we can't even make a move.
So do you feel like that at some point we'll be able to reverse the effects of our downfall? Or are we pretty much stuck in the cycle? Or what do we have to do in order to, get past what we don't get put through?
Yeah. I already see us reversing it. You know what I mean? Just the fact that you asking me these kind of questions at the age that you
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, the people that are, with our young children, they always, one of the things that I always understood that it was a protracted struggle. That means it was going to be a generational struggle. But it didn't happen overnight that we got in this situation. It took years upon years. So the work that we do, we are making the next step for the next generation by my children being raised a certain way, being imparted certain African traditions within their lifestyle, not so much as a belief in the sense of this religion says this, but no, this is what you do when you see another black person or a sister that look, you help this sister, instilling African tradition in them. So, we are already making a progress. At the age that you are asking me these type of questions, just imagine. Like my daughter, I got a 3-year-old daughter. I got a 1-year-old daughter. With the things that I know and the siblings that they have, shit, can't help but get ahead. Because we're already making it. It's gonna get better.
Yeah.
But we have to appreciate all aspects of the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All aspects of the fight. The ones that want to fight economically, the ones that want to fight with the legal.
Yeah.
We got to learn to appreciate it as long as they fighting.
A fight is a fight.
A fight is a fight.
Okay. All right. Do you think it's possible to be in an interracial relationship and still be pro-black or you know?
Yeah, you know, man. First of all, I had to say I don't agree with interracial relationships. I am a firm believer in being a separatist to the point, you know what I mean, where it's affected me in my everyday personal life. You know, I have a sister-in-law that, you know what I mean, that I actually raised at one time.
Yeah.
She chose to marry a Caucasian, so she's no longer, you know, she's always been with him.
Yeah.
But he's never been over my house. You know what I mean? Because I believe in, if you truly love yourself as an African, you're going to want somebody that looks just like you. You know what I mean? You're not going to put a child in a situation where they are conflicted because they already got to deal with a conflict. You know what I mean? With the images that society pushes, what's beauty and what's great and acceptable. And so you know, nah. I just can't rock with that at all. You know what I mean? It's too contradictory. You know, it's too contradictory. I don't care if it's Hispanic and black or, you know what I mean? And then within my actual ancestry, there's some Hispanics. You know what I mean? My daddy had a Hispanic last name. You know what I mean? But as far as, that's what it, even when it comes to being black, you know what I mean? It's your mind too, you know? But go ahead.
In turn, like, if you think about it, we really started everything. You know what I'm saying? We started the Caucasian race, you know what I'm saying, we'll leave that alone, but we started the Latin race, and you know what I'm saying, pretty much everything else on this planet, it started with us. Yeah. So, in turn, doesn't that still make them a part of us? You know what I'm saying? You follow what I'm saying? Or does it?
It's like a turtle and a tortoise. What's that, a turtle and a tortoise? Them both of them down there look the same, but they different.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Today, come at the house, you know what I mean, I see the red birds. The Cardinals. I saw one in the front, I go in the back room, then there's two. My queen was like, look, they over there by Shango too, both of the red Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? Then they getting into it with the blackbirds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, they all birds, but they don't roll like that. You know, the blackbirds usually be with other blackbirds. You know, and that's not no racism, but it's just me and keeping it authentic and pure. You know, they're a whole different creation than what they originated from.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a lot of critics on that too. You know, if they come from us.
Okay.
Know?
So is it possible to still be able to live in the same places? You know what I'm saying? Share the same, you know, stores and all of this type of thing without there being conflict, or is it possible that we can come to that? Because now, if you look on the news or if you look around the world, like, we can't do that. We can't function together. You know what I'm saying?
What, with the interracial people? What do you mean?
Like, racist, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always this race don't like this race, so we not getting along with them. You know, like in Cali back in the day, Mexicans and niggas didn't get along. You know what I'm saying?
Like, it's been like that in Texas before too.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? I remember we used to ride around and just look for it. You know, I even say that, but I remember them times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was target practice at one time. But you know, it's basically, man, even though I'm not living in no straight utopian society or whatnot, but it's basically like nobody outside of what I stand for really exists, other than when they see us in passing. You know, me and my family going to the store, we going out in public somewhere. You know, that's about far as the interaction going. But as far as like social wise, they ain't seen no Hispanic people come over to their house ever. You know, they ain't seen no white come over to their house ever, you know what I mean? You know, now they know we, you know, see these people. They never see us being rude to them, you know what I mean? But they know just this is our sacred space. This is an African-centered home. We want to keep it pure. You know, we ask people to come over, they take their shoes off. You're in a holy place right now, you know what I'm saying? But nah, I never even had another ethnic, any kind of racial person in my other race in my house other than unless they were doing the service.
Yeah.
You know, he cable man, he repairing the cable and some shit like that. I ain't You got no choice. You know what I'm saying?
That's who they sent. That's who we get.
As long as you fix my shit, get on, fix that, get all up out of there. Then they had we spooked anyway. Straight up.
That's all I got.
Well, we enjoyed them questions. What you think about them, brother? That's coming from the youngsters.
Yeah, man. It's just, I know what it's a society we live in, man, where a lot of the values, you know, that we have are being, you know, it's like it's kind of outdated. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, tradition is important because the longer we live amongst these people that has been dominated, which is a white supremacist mind state, the more lax we become in being Africans. Like I always tell niggas, man, I remember a time when a motherfucker that couldn't tell you he ate no coochie, no pussy. Now damn me, you ain't never hitting the blunt, you ain't never hitting the bird, none of that. Now if you don't do that, you ain't winning.
You ain't no nigga.
That's a part of the game.
Yeah.
I remember a time when niggas did not let dogs live in the house. But I remember having dogs in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that was like a no-no. That's what white people do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Same way with the homosexuality. It was a time, goddamn me, you know, it was niggas went to school with you. You knew there might have been something wrong with them. And you knew what was wrong with them. But it was like unspoken because they didn't let you really, they was there, but they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Now, you got to be accepting of it. You know what I mean? Because it's on every show. Like
go to jail.
Yeah.
You go to jail.
So man, they got a whole different thing. Like even the unveiling of the Cleopatra, I just blew that off or whatever. They like, this is what she looked like. I'm like, come on, man. We know better. It's 2018. They can try that. That won't work. You know what I mean? We say that, but if we don't keep pushing the line on and reinstilling this into our children, you know what I mean? Then that's what they'll think it is. Especially on TV. Anything our kids see on the internet, TV, you know. And it's based on the views, it's the truth.
Imagery works.
Yes, sir.
So nobody can't say it don't work. 'Cause boy, show a black Jesus and show a white Jesus picture, and see where your people go point to. Imagery works.
The flowers and the black one. Well, why his hair like this? Nigga, he black though. You ain't never point out the flowers and the white one. You know what I mean? Long as he's white, you didn't care what he looked like. His hair shouldn't have been straight. It's supposed to have been locks. You know, we all about it.
And even in the Bible, it give you code words of God saying, you know, Jacob I have loved, Esau I have hated. Esau was the white motherfucker. Jacob was black. So that's codes. They ain't even reading themselves. They just want to go say, hey. But hey, we ain't gonna get on that. That's for a whole other interview. That might be one I might be in front of camera on. So, brother, any shout outs, any family members, any ancestors we need to recognize?
Each one of us recognize our own ancestors, our own bloodline. But I want to give a shout out to Talking That Black.
Yeah.
And also Benji Gang. Benji Gang. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to ask them. But it's always an honor, man, to, be able to help my people any kind of way I can, man. You know what I mean? It's just being who I am. Like I said earlier, about just being African in every sense of the word. Like everything you do. Can't nobody, when you are African, man, it don't matter what no motherfucking body think. I'm just, I have to read before we go. Yeah. It don't matter what nobody think.
Right on.
You know what I mean? People want to talk about other people's vices. Everybody, you know what I mean? And we're so judgmental. Yeah. And we got to recognize that what we're going through, if we don't, preserve certain traditions and things that are important for us to instill in our own household first, then we're going to lose. Yeah. Right. That's just reality. So we all, if you don't have to be on, going out in groups doing nothing. Just as your individual life, every African you come in contact with, they should know, I can count on this man for this and that. Not so much to give him something, but to have the right word to say to him. At least be an open ear to him. You know what I mean? That little shit like that is what makes the change. You know what I mean? We don't have to be event-minded. Just everything you do, man, like everybody in my neighborhood know. If I got something, man, I done put people on jobs. You know what I mean? When I worked at a job, busted wide open. My whole neighborhood was working there. Y'all want a job? I'm working too. Come on, let's go. We all going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we all were working at the same job. Some lasted, some didn't. You know what I mean? But it's, and you know, turning people on to the diploma situation with Baba Amin. You know, the high school diploma program, turning people on to that. I've watched people go get a diploma from him. Go to the you know, the junior college and take trades and do different things that they wanted to do. You know, but we have to recognize that everything we do is an opportunity to uplift each other. So anytime we come in contact with anybody, we should be trying to make the situation better if we there.
Right on.
You know what I mean?
Right on. Well, we should appreciate the interview, brothers. You are the first person to get interviewed by KMinded Creationz, so this is going to be a classic for us and others to go back and watch again, because you will be back very soon. So black power to you. And Benji Gang, any last remarks? We them bows. Already. We signing out.